Okay, we're about to enter onto the right-of-way to our left. We're on Noonday Road East, going in an easterly direction with 450 highway to our back. We just turned onto the 60-foot wide right-of-way, and you'll notice that the front part gravel is nice and level, and it's been kept up. As you'll see, we going down the road where it needs attention. This is a lock gate, and I'll have to get you a combination to the code. Just be real sure when you leave that you lock it back. So we're looking at Noonday Road East. We just came in on. And this is lot, I believe it's 12, and they built a barn on it, and I think they plan to build a house in the future here. I'm doing a voiceover, so you'll hear birds and stuff in the background. Okay, we've locked the gate, and we're heading in a northerly direction down the 60-foot right-of-way. And the right-of-way is made up of 4 15-foot wide strips. Lot 8 being the rightmost, which is ours, 15-foot strip. And then 9, 10, and 11 all actually have a 15-foot wide piece of that actual track that goes all the way from the track to Noonday Road. So it is a permanent, dedicated right-of-way that everyone shares. Okay, and here's off to the left. You'll see where he's run his road up to the barn. Now we're going to enter the area where it hasn't been maintained for years, and actually it wouldn't be that difficult to fix a road. It just needs to be box bladed and kept up, but no one goes back here. I think of all the lots out here, there's only 1, 2, well, the fellow that we just went to on the left has 2 tracks, and then there's one new house over on the west side, and then our lot 8. And I think the rest of it has not been sold, and I'm not sure it will be sold. You'll notice that there is no electricity. We're going to have to run on the right-hand side of the car here. We'll have to run a power line all the way back to the property. And you can see the road is still in places where it's washed out and trenched. It just needs to be box bladed and rounded, so it basically looked like the portion that we first entered in on where the gate was. In a minute, you'll see where we'll come into where the power line clips through the eastern portion of the track, and we're right now that we're on the where the pipeline. You'll see a little pipeline that crosses through the property. We're at that point, so we're about halfway from Noonday back to the track. I did all the filming on the area near the power line, which everything was filmed from the low area looking up the hill, so you're really not going to see any views or really much of the trees or anything, because except where you'll see later where I zoom in there, and I really only saw a couple of, only walked on a couple of portions of the creek, so you're not really going to get to see that much of it. I really didn't have a lot of time today. We're up from a wife's 50th class reunion. Is why we're up here. So it's the end of April. Okay, we're at the pipeline, and it's what we call power line, and the track. It's kind of hard to see without the markers, but basically that large tree you see in front of you, slightly to the right, is roughly where the southeast corner of the track would be. So the road just basically dead ends into the southeast corner of this 11 acres. Okay, I'm got out and walked back a ways. I'll just do a pan. You're looking now pretty much at the northeast corner. You'll see on the hill back there, that's that pine plantation. It's thousands of acres, I believe, and it's also on the east side as well. Where my finger is now is the trees at the top where you'd build your house, I would think. I'll try and pan and zoom in on this area. The road would run from the low area down here up the hill. I'd put my house up there with the sun to my back from the trees shading it, and I'd build a lake down here where I'm at now, and excavate that out and use that material for to build the road. Okay, we are at the end of the road. We are facing basically north, and I'm going to walk very close to the east property line, walking in a northerly direction. And I'll walk. You'll see where the creek crosses the property line there. That's where we're going to be in a second when you see the water. They SWIPCO mowed the right of way, and there was just tons and tons of blackberry and dewberries out there. There's still quite a few of them. It's not on the right of way. Okay, this is a small part of the creek where it exits through across the east boundary line of this track. Sandy bottom. It'd be real easy to dig this out. It runs back to your left here, and I've really never walked the whole thing, but it's a nice creek. We owned about, I guess 500 or so acres here over some years ago, and of all the places I hunted, I deer hunted, I liked this specific area best because it had the water, and for whatever reason, it just was the best spot. So you can actually hunt on 11 acres, believe me. Okay, now we're walking due south along the property lines, just a few feet to your left. We're looking kind of northwest, I would say. Try and zoom in a little bit. Those large trees there are on the property. So what we're seeing is just a little small part down where the power line goes across. The main part of this 11 acres is where you're seeing now. Okay, I've walked down the right-of-way a ways. The car's in the distance there. We're now looking in an easterly direction, swinging north. And in that area there, which would be north and east of the power line, is where the creek comes through. Is what you're looking at now. So you're basically we're looking in a northerly direction, standing out on the right of way. Okay, you see that tower there? The north line that runs east-west of this track comes very, very close, within a few feet of the bottom of that tower. And then you can see the trees up on the west end of this track. We're swinging around now, and we're probably looking at track 9 now. Okay, we've moved further down the right-of-way in I guess a northwesterly direction, looking back on the track now. Okay, there's that tower, and the property line. We're basically looking down the track now from the power line right-of-way in a pretty much due westerly direction now. And that area, as you see now, is where I think I'd build my house, in those trees there. And naturally going to clear out all this stuff, this lower brush and stuff. Again, looking in a westerly direction. From up in there where those trees are, you have a really neat view. You can see for miles. Okay, we're over near the edge of the right-of-way, where the creek is, and we're going to walk back into where the larger part of the creek is in a northerly direction. This is a part of the area where I would just go ahead and excavate it out and make a big lake here. Okay, we're getting plenty of views of the west end. I'm narrating this after I got home, so I'm watching it just like you are. Again, this is pretty much a due westerly shot from the power line right away. Okay, I was here. Grandpa was here. Okay, we're heading out. And I think I'm going to swing left, I think, on Noonday in an easterly direction like you were going to Marshall. And that's the video. And my wife's class won first place in the float in her Hughes Springs, Texas High School 50th year class reunion. So we had a really great trip. This is exiting Noonday. That's Noonday Road in front of you there. And to the right, which is where you'd normally go into Hallsville, and left, the direction I'm going to go just to see what's happening down here, is the way you would go back to 449 on into Marshall.